Alright, so this is my second tool discussion, Deutsche Welle, Warum nicht? This is an audio course through Deutsche Welle, which is an online website, which you can see here. It's just dw.com, and then you can just access it through Learn German and then German courses. So this is an audio course, like I said, which means that most of it is an audio file and then some worksheets that accompany it. So if we click on Series 1, oops, wrong one. We'll click on Series 1 and just go to Chapter 1. And then you can see there's an audio file. And then there's also a PDF of a worksheet. And the worksheets did vary as I went through. I'm not going to show you all of them, but they do vary, and the audio files are also different as you go through. So the first thing that I took a look at was the graphics, and I think that the graphics are lacking a bit on the web page itself. It's not very intriguing, not very colorful, and the printable worksheets are in black and white. They're not digital, you can't type on them either. So I gave graphics a 1 out of 5. For learning paths, I said that this one also got a 1 out of 5. I didn't really find anything that's embedded for formative assessments. It would require teacher correction and feedback, so there's not really any pathways either. It's basically a digital textbook with all these different chapters outlined. The next thing is the interactive elements. I thought this was pretty limited. Again, there's nothing really interactive. There's the audio or video playback feature, so you basically just hit the play button as we just saw here. So you can listen to the audio, and that's about it in terms of interaction. Assessment elements. There is a variety in the worksheets themselves. There's multiple choice, fill in the blanks, full sentence, short answer. Those are most of what I saw. Again, I did not go through all 4 series every chapter to look at them, but from what I saw, there is a lot of variety. But again, they have to be printed. They're not digital activities. They're not interactive. So I gave them a 4 out of 5 for that. For the user interface, again, a 4 out of 5. I think it's pretty easy to navigate. Links are visible, but they're not abundantly visible. So going back here, we'll go to Series 1 again. If we click on a random chapter, you can see that the text for the actual hyperlink looks pretty similar to any of the other text. It doesn't really stand out as much, so maybe it's in need of some redesign there. But it is easy to navigate, so I gave that a 4 out of 5. The adaptive engines, I gave it a 0 out of 5. There is no data collection, being that they're printable worksheets. Nothing is being collected in terms of data. The teacher would have to process all of those and then input data somewhere else. So you can't really create a personalized learning path without the teacher's input. So that's why I gave this one a 0 out of 5. For interoperability, again, no data is collected, so automatically I think there it's a 0 out of 5. Aside from the fact that you can print the worksheets and then input data wherever you need to. So depends on how you look at it, I suppose, but in terms of digital ability, I would say a 0 out of 5. The cognitive load, I gave it a 4 out of 5. So there are listening activities and worksheets, possibly videos they mentioned, but I didn't find any. And being that it's an audio course, I wouldn't necessarily expect videos. I don't really think there's any overload cognitively, or potential for that. The activities are all pretty basic and outlined well enough that they build on top of each other, and it's not overwhelming. And this entire program could probably function supplementally, so I don't think it was anything too strenuous. Data collection, I gave a 0 out of 5. Again, it's not collecting data. Doesn't exist within the web page, so the teacher would have to do this using traditional methods, grading by hand, or writing over or typing over the PDF. In terms of self-paced, I said that it's possible that students could be self-paced using this. They would have to receive feedback from the teacher or self-regulate, which could be difficult because they would have to wait until their paper is graded and then move on from there. And that's assuming that the order in which the chapters are placed on the website are the order in which that the student, that specific student, would follow. So the variation is unlikely, or it's unlikely for that to match the student's differences, but you could potentially be self-paced with this. For UDL, it didn't score too well here either. I said yes to recruiting interest with some reservations. If students are interested in listening to audio and that sort of thing, then yes, I think it could work out. But the worksheets, again, printable, black and white, they're not super exciting, so I don't know how many options there are for recruiting interest. For sustaining efforts and persistence, I said no, and self-regulation also no. It's not, the students aren't receiving a lot of feedback or anything that would be automatically getting their attention and making them want to persist in the program. For representation, I gave it a yes on all three categories here: perception, language and symbols, and comprehension. Although you can't really vary the way that you input information, there is some variety with the audio and then the format that they have set up for the worksheets. Vocabulary is explained and everything is built upon, kind of scaffolded with the different worksheets and chapters as you go through. For action and expression, I said no on all three subcategories. Being that students are using a paper worksheet, it would be hard for them to vary the way that they're inputting information. There are no speaking exercises or anything like that because it's a printed worksheet. So overall, I just think it wasn't very good in this category either, and I scored it a 4 out of 9 here. So that leaves Deutsche Welle Warum nicht with a 34%. I do want to mention that as I was looking at their website, I found an interactive activity, so it's under Deutsch Interaktiv, and here's just an example of some of the things that you can do. So I can click here and type in what it, so where the city Freiburg is, which would be in the south of Germany. So over here it gives you a word bank. So I'm going to type it in as im Süden von.
Freiburg liegt im Süden von Deutschland.
And then hopefully you can hear that it read that back to me. And then you can also progress through this. And there are a variety of activities. So Deutsche Welle does offer something that's more interactive and provides feedback, but it's not part of the audio course. So I think the 34% would beat the audio course independently. I think this again means that this would operate better for a teacher using a modular system as opposed to integrated. Especially if a teacher is using Deutsche Welle, they could use a variety of their activities to create their modular system and build something that would work for them. And as I mentioned before, if they're using it supplementally, this could definitely work. It would be great as an audio activity, something that students should be listening to and practicing their listening comprehension. Possibly even speaking if you tie this in with another activity or have students explain to you in German what they're doing, etc. So it would definitely have to be supplemental. This is my summary for the digital tool Deutsche Welle Warum nicht, and I hope to hear your responses soon. Thank you.